Morning, kids. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Grandpa here this morning, watching the sun come up out there across that massive San Luis Valley, over there on San Juans, I should say. I like to make fun of words, San Juan. And here we are, sitting here this morning, drinking our coffee, relaxing. It's starting to overflow with the love. The energy's been kind of intense lately. I didn't get to do my radio show last night because my software screwed up on me and can't get it fixed till today. So hopefully we'll be on again this afternoon with another happy episode of the Daylight Flight of the Coyote Medicine Show, only on the Hazy Radio Network. Babies, hazyradio.com/listen-chat. That's where you go when you want to hear Coyote and a whole bunch of good old rock and roll, babies, because we got it there and we got it in your soul. We got it in your heart. You know, we're going through some real interesting transitions these days. The heart is opening up, and as it does, all of the little holes and flaws and weaknesses in it are going to become apparent to you. I know I've been going through it myself, dealing with some very real human emotions that I didn't even know I had. You know, that I thought I'd moved beyond a long time ago. But babies, you know, until we're there, we're not quite there. Till we're present, we're not quite present, you know. That's just the way it is. But this morning, despite all of that I've been going through, I'm feeling fully present. My heart is like, you know, still got its share of grief on, but it's learning. And it sees the joy in the grief. And it can let go of the harshness. And it doesn't have to live in a angry attitude anymore. It doesn't have to be a victim. It understands its own love. And it's going to be all right with its own love. There's plenty there. And it doesn't need any to add to it. Because everyone's there with me already. Always in this heart. That's why I feel as I do and why I've been dealing with the emotions that I have. You as humanity inside of me are finishing the journey. And here in a few minutes I'm going to sneak off to the hot springs, probably before I post this thing. Though I may just put it straight up, we'll see. But anyway, I'm going to sneak off to the hot springs and do my thing there. And finish what Mother has in store for me. You see, it's the Mother's heart that I'm in service to and have been forever, which means you and me too and everybody else that's here and living beyond this reality as well. Because Mother Earth is kind of like the anchor heart from which all life springs forward, as you well know. Or at least you know that's my opinion. You will see it if you haven't seen it already. You will come to know this if you haven't known it already. Babies, it's time we start living from the heart completely. And what that means is following what the heart knows. And if someone around you seems to lack commitment, well, ask yourself what you're doing that's not bringing that commitment to you. Somebody you know is disappointing you in some way, ask yourself, what are you doing to create this disappointment in your life? You know, myself, I see lifetime after lifetime of these patterns and habits of, well, I don't know how you'd say it, but love never working out for me quite well. We have our moments and times in God, they're beautiful, and thank God for those. But man, you know, it's tricky in that area. I'm one of the most loving people I know, you know, and I say that with great respect towards you and everyone else too, as well as myself. It doesn't put me above you. I'm just able to do that. I'm able to be more loving than most of the men I know and most of the women too. And I'm sorry about that, but it's true. It can flow through me and from my heart just like crazy, despite any restrictions and handicaps on the human side that I still have. I've been trained in this way by the spirit hearts that work with me, so that I can do this despite any wounds that I still carry, you know. And it is the wound of love, and it goes right back to the origins of time, you know, and the lack of commitment on the part of some hearts. Well, if I'm seeing it there, I got to see it in myself too, because those hearts are my hearts. And if you guys are falling short, well, then I'm falling short. And I've got some work to do. So I'm going to go finish this process this morning, or as much of it as I can, and be on the air for you this afternoon as the old coyote, crazy old DJ on the Coyote Medicine Show. And I dearly love doing it with you, babies, and it's just rocks, you know, and I really appreciate you tuning in. The good old Hazy Radio Network when I'm on there, babies. It just tickles my soul to see so many folks hanging out there, you know, and having a good time with us. People, we're about to resolve what really ails us. We're right down to the core of it now. The reality, the truth, the situation. And it's probably going to be settling on you this morning or sometime during the day. Today's what, July 21, I think. And it will be settling on you. You will be feeling it. In fact, you're feeling it already, same as I am. It's time to let this old unconscionable grief go. It's time to let go of every judgment in our heart that we ever held against ourselves or anybody else. Most especially ourselves. We've all fallen short. We're all in need. We all have our wounds. We're all human beings. And there's basic wounds that remain in you until every human being has resolved them. You can get peaceful with them. You can get in a good space with them. But babies, you can't let them rule over you anymore. You better get that skeeter before he bites me. Darn it. You just got to be in your place, in your heart, and be okay with whatever you see there. Now, some people think they're pure and they've already risen above the human fray, and that they don't live in it anymore. That they, even though they still embody human body, that their emotions and experiences have gone beyond this human realm. This 3D world, as we call it. Well, the human realm includes all realms, baby. It's not just this one. And the only way you really get enlightenment is to embrace your humanity and hold it close to your heart. Embrace what's there and be truthful about it inside of yourself as it reveals itself to you. It's not always pretty to see what we've become and how we treat each other. You know? But this is how we cure it, babies. Getting over the essential pain of the great disappointment that brought us into the age of darkness in the first place. And it lives in each and every one of us, whether we like it or not. We're one. One heart, one consciousness, expressed in a myriad of ways indeed. A whole bunch of billions and billions and trillions and beyond numbers souls. I mean, there's so many of us, it's unbelievable. Yet there's only one of us in that many. And we all feel the same thing. Whether we know it or not, we react differently to it. Our responses, though, on one level, are all pretty much the same. You either retreat into the pain, or you let it go, you release it lovingly. It's the only way you'll ever be done with it. And babies, I'm putting my heart and soul in it this morning. Like I do all the times, like I do in these videos, like I do in everything else I do. I love you so crazily, but at the same time, you know, I also understand that if I don't take care of old number one here, I haven't got anything left for you. I need to settle this for all of us. So that's what I'm going to do this morning. Settle it. I'm fully present. I'm fully home in my heart. Present inside of this body. And I ain't leaving it. none too soon. When I leave, I'm taking it with me, baby. And I'm taking it just where it want to go. And I'm doing peacefully so, too. Won't do it any other way. And if you want to meet me in this project, you're welcome. You know, come on in. The party's going to be fine. The water's going to be nice and hot. And I don't know how long I'll spend there, but, you know, we'll get some time in this morning. With the sun is shining, it's kind of hard to stay out there. But I'm getting there during the cool part of the morning, so hopefully we'll get a little soaking in before we oversweat ourselves. Love is the answer. Love is the key to everything. The more you can love, the less you're going to deal with the human drama. But you do got to embrace it. All of it. The whole illusion of it. So that you can let it go. And be at peace with it forevermore. And yes, I have that essential peace already. And I'm finishing with the rest of it now. That old anxious wound that just, you know, for me, the wounds have been valuable because it's been a great motivation. It's kept me living and seeking this love forever and growing in it too. And it's given me a source of connection with everyone else that I didn't feel I had before. And now, you know, I see it plainly from the heart that we're all unified, and therefore I'll be unified with you. I don't need the old crippling crutch to walk on any longer. It's kind of a cute thing, I have to admit. I get a kick out of the crutches I've used. You know, and rage has been a good one. I've managed to distance a lot of people that would otherwise be harmful to me in that moment with my little bit of rage. But I also understand the power of love now. And I don't need to rage any longer. I don't need to distance myself, except in maybe material ways at times. But other than that, I don't need to distance myself from anybody. I need to see what's going on in my own heart that's creating mayhem like that out there. I need to see this truth inside of myself so I can live here and change it and rearrange it completely. As one of many, yes, but as one through whom it flows. I know I'm a gateway being. I know my heart is very unique in this world, but not so much so. But it does contain the energy of all. I do wear it. I do live it. What humanity lives, I live. And that's been my difficulty up to now. But now I see, because I am this gateway being and I do have this ability, that I can move beyond this, that I can still carry that, but not be in a responsive attitude to it, except in the way that I apply love. And my heart can only get bigger and broader and more. This is what happened yesterday, man. My heart started to expand. Even as I was going through some of my weaker moments and angry as hell. But I wasn't yelling at anybody or anything, thank goodness. But just really disappointed in the hand that life has dealt me. You know, it just didn't want to seem to work out. Seems like it just keeps wanting to go in this other direction and drag it out and drag it out and drag it out. Other people have great sentiment here and they're not facing it. And life just won't work when we aren't hooking up that way, when we aren't in that love, when we aren't in that life, when we're pushing it away from ourselves and saying we're not. As we often do. Human beings, we're silly little critters, but we are essentially love bunnies, and that's why we feel the way we do. That's why we get all these sentimental attachments, you know. And there's a lot of emotional conditioning that goes with these kind of attitudes, you know, that would take us away from one another, breaks us apart most of the time. Even though we love each other silly, there's these things, these moments that come where we're not so loving, and we do things to one another that probably we shouldn't be doing, not realizing the sensitivity in one another, not realizing that our moves may affect somebody this way. You know, because we're so in love with ourselves, we don't always look outside of that self to see what we're doing with the presence of another. So I'm going to try to be extremely conscious of that from here on out. Not that I wasn't before, but the presence is more strongly in me now, so I can. And babies, there is an end to this old rodeo ride we've been on. And there is a beginning. You understand, it's just another notch in the old gears of life. It just keeps going round and round, so it's just another event, another way of being, a transition. We're very close to that now, and the forces of energy are strongly at work in opposition to it. Yet there is no opposition to love. This is what we need to realize inside so that we can apply it here in our world and be okay with the life we're living. And be in love with the life we're given. And take it all the way. Play it straight with one another. Do you realize how seldom we're honest with each other? How you doing? Oh, I'm just fine. Fucking A. I mean, that's the basis of our whole reality, man, right there. Tell sweet little lies. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not living in those lies anymore. I'm way, way beyond that shit. Somebody says they love you, they better fucking mean it. And show it. And if they can't fucking live it, you better ask yourself why you aren't living. Peace comes when you allow the love to be. When you make no requirement on any person, especially yourself. So these human feelings that get in our way, that try to possess or control, or whatever it is, you know, get all embittered when folks don't do as expected, etc., etc. These responses don't serve us anymore. Not like that. I mean, you shouldn't ignore the behavior, you shouldn't ignore the attitude, true. And if necessary, yeah, jump on it when you have to, but, you know, mainly jump on it in yourselves. That's what I'm doing. I'm just getting on it in myself, you know. I'm feeling very soft and fuzzy this morning, you know. I still feel the anxiety and the pain somewhat. But babies, my heart's in a new place. My consciousness is no longer, it's springboarding into reality. I'm making this journey and I'm making it for you. Well, for me too, because we're all in this together again. One person. So I don't pretend to understand the mechanical aspects of how this all works here, of how we take the leap, but I do see us leaping. I do see the love that takes us forward, and it's always love. And so then the mechanical aspects don't matter. They really don't. We can just be truthful heart presences in ourselves, and we don't need one another because we got everyone inside of ourselves. And that supersedes the need. Love is present in all things, in all places, in all persons. When we can see that, we've purified the world and changed everything, most especially ourselves. Baby, I love you. I wish I had more pleasant news for you this morning. Maybe I will have later on. Peace be with you. May we always be that which we are, completely in love with ourselves and all of this life that is ourself. The one self and all, the one heart that never grieves. Love you.